This is a demo of the Frontier AlphaTrack control surface / MIDI controller. And I'll take you from top to bottom on a MIDI Pro Tools session that I've been working on. So to start with, once you connect your AlphaTrack with the USB and it is bus powered, you'll want to go into your applet from Frontier and make sure that you're in Huey mode. Your other choices are native mode, which is a generic MIDI controller, and the Mackie Control Universal mode. We have Pro Tools Huey selected, and now I can open up Pro Tools. The AlphaTrack does have a motorized fader, so it will jump to its last position. Now to set up in Pro Tools, I go to Setup and make sure that my AlphaTrack is selected as an input device, and it is. And then I will go into Peripherals, go to MIDI Controllers, and when you start out it will look like this. I'm going to select Huey as the type and receive from the AlphaTrack and send to the AlphaTrack. And that's it. Now everything should be synced up. So, one of the first most useful things to do with this is to switch between the edit window and the mix window. So let's go in here, and the transport is probably one of the most used functions too. Start playing, stop playing, return back to the start, which is great. Really handy feature is that I can add markers. So now that I've got those markers, I can use this knob here to jump between the markers. Right, nicely, I believe. Another useful thing to do with the controller is to set in and out points. So let's do that. Let's play a little bit. And set an in point right there, and you see the little arrow came up there. And let's set our out point right there. Now I can set this to loop between them. And you see the loop function came on there. I might need to set my in and out points again. There we go. Now it's going to loop between my in and out points. You might notice this indentation. It's actually a touch strip. And you see I'm moving my punch in and punch out points here with that. So let's go here into the mix window and choose which track we're working on in either two ways. You can select it with this encoder, and you see I'm on the bass track, and sure enough, the alpha code picks that up. Or I can use the track buttons, and we see that I switched to the drum left, drum right, keyboard left, keyboard right. So let's, while I'm here on the keyboard, let's do something and change the panning on this. Right now it's a stereo track, and I've got it panned both left and right going to the right. Well, let's change that. If I change this knob, you notice it's changing the left pan. Well, how do I get to the right? I'll push that pan again, and I can do that. So let's set this up something like this. There we go. You notice that my settings didn't take on the left one, and that's because the automation was set to latch. Well, we can change which mode we're in. So let's set the automation off on that track. Keyboard right, automation. It's at read right now. We're going to turn automation off. Now when I go into pan, my settings will stick. Another handy thing you can do with this is to control your sends. For example, this track here has sends on A and B. I can choose between them with this knob, send A and send B, and then if I had more I could say A, B, C, D, or E. But let's go to the first one, and this is going to set the level of the send. Right, I'm on this one. There we go. There's my send. And if I go to send B, let's open that one up. Send A, or send B, and send A. Now let's go to a track that has an insert. Let's go to the synth track here. And let's go to plugin, because it's a plugin. So my synth has two plugins, Sample Tank 3 and a leveling tool. Real handy feature here. If I push this first knob, it's going to bypass it. Bypass enabled. And it's as simple as stop and flip. And now I've got my transport window up here. Yes, you can do a lot of functions with this transport, but of course the transport window gives you access to all the controls. Let's get rid of that. Let's go into this stereo dupe 3 track. And I'm there. Let's say I want to record something on here. Well, I'm going to have to enable the recording function, which I can do right here. And let's set the input to something else so that I don't get that feedback. Let's go to 1.5. Great. Now record mode. And as I start playing, watching you be you. All I have to do. So that's the AlphaTrack from Frontier. Pretty handy little control surface. It doesn't have all the functions, all the hotkeys that Pro Tools or any other DAW you'd hook it to has, but it does have a really nice range of really useful ones. Transport, being able to switch between windows, mix and edit, track controls, automation control, marker control, plug-in control, sends. Really the bread and butter kind of everyday, use them 1,000 time task with the AlphaTrack.